Hello, we're doing a quick and easy in-service on the EV1000 from Edwards Life Sciences that's going to cover your non-invasive and your minimally invasive approach to hemodynamics. EV1000, this is your monitor, this is your data box, this is pretty much your brains, and this is your pump that supplies the power. This has the ability to do minimally invasive with the flow track and non-invasive with the ClearSight technology. In order to turn this EV1000 machine on, you literally, there's a button on the back, you turn it on. While it's turning on, what you're going to see, it's going to take a couple minutes for it to actually warm up or prompt. At the short term of that, what we want to do, the next thing is we're going to actually show you the simplicity of putting it on a cuff. And this is the ring sizer. This is how you're going to actually measure what size cuff the patient gets. Here, we're going to actually see he is a medium. And as you can see here, they're coming three different sizes: small, medium, and large. So with him being a medium, we're going to use a medium cuff. The importance about this cuff is this cuff has a light sensor, light diode, and an actual bladder in the middle. So you want to place the finger between the two middle green lines there where the two arrows are. At that point, you want to roll it and actually clamp the finger cuff on. You are done with the finger cuff at that point. The next point is we want to always start up with a new patient. We're going to hit new patient. At this point, it is going to ask you for the patient's BSA. The height, 71 inches, and you can do inches or centimeters. We're chosen inches. We're going to do weight, which can be done in pounds or kilograms. We're going to do pounds, 200 pounds. We're going to do age. We're going to do and gender. This is all important for the BSA, and this is going to compute the numbers that it compares to in your data box here. So at that point, you're done. Now he wants you to zero this out. Into zero, you're going to take the heart reference sensor end of it and the finger end of this. This is basically a transducer. You're going to zero these two out by putting them together and pressing zero. It is zero. Once upon zeroing, you're going to take this end, the finger end, and connect it to the finger slot here on the slot. Once connected, this will go at the heart level. The heart reference sensor will go at the heart level. Here, the cuff will go here, and we will plug in the cuff into the pressure cable. At that point, you see a green light here, green light on the pressure cuff. The next step is just to start it. Hit the start button. You are actively now getting information from using a ClearSight non-invasive technology on the setup. Now you hit the home screen, you get a chance to use all the parameters you want. If you ever want to change between technologies, you hit this little button here. It allows you to change between flow track and ClearSight. You know, choose flow track, you go here. Do I want to switch? I'm not going to switch because I'm still using non-invasive. But if you ever need to switch technologies, a little grayed out area here. So now we're back in the ClearSight. Now this is your menu where you choose which menu screen you want to look at. And that's based on the doctor's preference. So here, quick and easy ClearSight setup.
Excellent. You want to say anything about the
flow track?
The perfusion status there?
Yes, so what you're seeing here is, what it's going to do first is what we call physiological calibration. So it's going to calibrate. It's going to squeeze 1,000 times per second. It's going to find where arterial pressure unload is. So at this point, this number is going to start at 10. We want this number to get up around 30. When this number gets up around 30, that means we are getting good capillary refill. The only issues you run into sometimes if patients have cold, wet, clammy hands, the major limitation is Raynaud's syndrome. If you have a patient with Raynaud's syndrome, definitely they're going to have poor perfusion. This might not be the best technology for them, but if you can warm their hands up, get good capillary refill, you should be able to get this to work, just like you have good SpO2. As you see here, you see the blood pressures here. This is all trending, so you want to look at these numbers, and you want to treat to the trend and not to the actual number. As you can see here, right now we have his stroke volume variation, cardiac output, and stroke volume, and we're still waiting on this number to continue to get higher. As you can see here, if you're looking at it wearing a non-invasive cuff, you can compare the two. The difference is the non-invasive clear-sight technology is going to actually give you it's going to give you systolic and diastolic numbers first, and then your mean arterial, where your non-invasive cuff is going to give you your mean arterial pressure first. So if you see discrepancies in the numbers, just based on how and what they're computing first.
You want to make a comment about SVV on a spontaneously ventilated
Yes,
patient?
and we have the SVV parameter here. We just have it for show and tell. Right now, if you're not 100% mechanically ventilated, you cannot use SVV, positive pressure. So SVV, the patient has to be spontaneously breathing. And the sweet number here is
SVV mechanically ventilated.
you have to be mechanically ventilated.
Right.
So you have to be mechanically ventilated. And the sweet spot for this number is around 11 to 13, but it's also based on your patient's BSA. So, all right. And I think any other questions?
That's it. You want to maybe toggle to the other screen?
Yes. So if you're looking for other screens, the most common screen utilizing, and especially, or you're going to be looking at your cockpit screen here. This screen here is going to give you those parameters highlighted. So if you look at green, means that patient is a good place. Yellow, that's where you want to pay attention to caution. And red, definitely you want to intervene. But these allow you to see how your patient is actually trending. Also, this allows you to choose between the parameters. You can have either 1 parameter, 2 parameter, 3 parameters, or 4. 4 parameters. In order to change those parameters, you click outside the globe. Your menu bar pops up, and you can actually change those parameters based on what you're looking for when you're looking to treat your patient. If you also want to change the target limits, if you click inside of the globe, there are target limits on the inside. So let's say ideally, if you have a patient that has a cardiac output and you know that patient's been cardiopulmonary compromised and you know that patient will never get between 4 to 8, what we will do is you can change those parameters to keep that patient from continuing to alarm here. So based on your patient's need, you can actually change those target limits. But more importantly, to change those parameters, click outside of any globe, your menu pops up.
By the way, my pressure is going up because I'm holding my camera.
Yes.
Don't be alarmed.
Yes. So here, your menu and the rest of these buttons are really good to know buttons, but not need to know. The most important button when it comes to buttonology is patient data, how to enter your patient's information. That will be here. Enter the patient data, enter their BSA, and if more important, if you're going to do a new patient, hit new patient. Once you click on a new patient, it's going to prompt you to confirm new patient, yes. But since we're going to keep this information, we're going to hit no. At that point, once I've done that, it's going to prompt me next one. We're going to actually go into the clinician tab. Let's say if you want to do a 0 wave format again, you can do this from this tab. Also, if you wanted to enter a CVP, you can do it from this tab. And any other data that you want to recall is done, but more importantly, just going to use 0 from this tab. And this is, how do I want that information displayed to me? So you have multiple buttons or different tabs. We want to keep it simple for you. More importantly, you use this called the cockpit screen, which is one of the more useful, as well as your graphical trend screen here, which allows you to see blood pressures, beat to beat blood pressures, while you're looking at all your other flow-based parameters here. And you also have your animated physiology screen. Those are the 3 most frequently utilized screens here. So
my perfusion is okay right now. You want to point to that?
your perfusion is up around 70 right now. That means we're getting good capillary refill at this point.
And then the other salient features are once you set up, wait about 10 minutes to start relying on the numbers.
That's right. Anytime you do any sort of intervention, giving volume, giving your other fluids, or giving any medication, you want to make 10 minutes to see how the patient is actually going to respond to that fluid before making an assumption to do another intervention. So give it 10 minutes. So what we say is wait 10 minutes to see how that intervention affects the patient, and then you want to make sure you do something else, just like your Frank-Starling curve. You're going to give your volume, wait 10 minutes, see if the patient's fluid responsive. They're responding, you have more volume. If they're not responding, you know it's not a volume issue. We look at other flow-based parameters that you want to actually treat. So,
perfect. So when you set up, wait 10 minutes, and then decide if you're going to make an intervention, and if you do, wait 10 minutes after the intervention to see what the results are before you do something else.
Yes.
All
That
right.
will make sure to keep you safe.
Cool. Anything else?
That's it.
Thanks a lot, Patrol.
You guys are great.
Thanks.